Welcome to a live edition of the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle JCRB Kraus.
Hello, we are here for another live Q&A for the month. Hello, everybody. How you doing? I see you were asking a lot of questions. That's good because we have a lot of answers, or at least maybe Ian does, I hope.
Well, I will give answers. Whether or not you're satisfied with them is...
We make no guarantees that you'll like the answers we give you. We will
The
answer
answers
them.
will be given.
Yes.
Big thank you to our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, whose continued support prompts these end of the month shows. Also, big shout out to our supporters on the YouTube channel and Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast. I would be remiss to not give a big thank you to Jennifer R. and Professor Rye, who are both volunteering to help manage the questions and make this somewhat of a controlled bit of chaos. Keep that tempest inside the teapot. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you to both of them.
Quick review on how this works. You type into the chat there at BKQA to get your question put in the queue. Please wait to ask a new question until after your initial one has been answered, because we can't get through all of them at once, but we will try to get one from everybody, and asking one at a time will help us do that. Priority will go to super chats of any denomination, but we will cut them off at a point so that the regular folks, the standard questions, will have a chance to get answered. And with that, I guess we're just going to tear into these as fast and as hard as we can, like a ravenous Wolverine.
There's also one thing I wanted to ask you before we get started.
Right. Okay.
Questions about Sonic Origins, yes or no?
It's out.
Yes.
So I will answer what I think I can safely, but there's probably a lot that I still can't get into.
Okay.
Or just don't know about.
Okay. Cool. Alrighty then. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into some questions, because we got a lot. Starting off with one from Jetsy Rose. I must know, what would Shadow say if he was caught applying red eyeliner? Do an impression, Ian.
What? I have the ultimate contour control.
It's true.
I mean, seriously, men can wear makeup. You gonna pick a fight with Shadow?
I would.
My guess. What do you want in your tombstone?
I'm not gonna screw with that guy. He can do whatever he wants. Here's a question from S. Shining. Sonic Team, including Shadow, Silver, Blaze, Amy, Eggman, etc., watch Dragon Ball, including GT and Super. Who would be their favorite character, moment, and saga for each?
We're not going to go through the entire Sonic cast because we only have 2 hours. Sonic would find a lot to go on with Goku. I know that sounds like a cop-out, but they're both adventurous. They both enjoy a good challenge. They're both a little quick on the draw. They both enjoy furthering themselves. They never say die. You know, it makes sense. Tails would feel uncomfortably similar to Krillin, but really admire Bulma's inventive skill. I feel like he and Amy would both kind of geek out over Bulma. The inventive side, the adventurous side, putting up with all the crap that comes from the Z Fighters. Eggman would enjoy Dr. Gero, but kind of mock his short-sightedness, because he would never let his creations get out of control like that.
Of course not. Never ever would he do that. Let's move on to this next question then from Darker. In Sonic 06, Blaze asks Silver to use Chaos Control, and he was about to do it, but he had no emerald. Does that mean Silver can use Chaos abilities without emeralds like Shadow?
I'd have to review the scene for the context, but I don't think so. Maybe that was a mistranslation, because 06 is kind of rife with those, or missing context. But no, as far as I'm aware, Silver's only innate abilities is psychokinesis.
Yes. And we got a question here from Pan Dolce. We know Starline just corrects whoever calls him a duck, but what would he do if Eggman started calling him a duck despite being aware of his species?
He would still correct it, but in the most passive way possible.
Mm-hmm.
Get out of here, you miserable duck platypus. Sir. Anyway, yes, sir, out the way.
Typical. What a simp.
There'd be little passive-aggressive post-it notes around the egg lab.
Uh-huh.
Platypus. Noun. A monotreme. A mammal with a duck-like face. Easily confused with a duck, but not a duck. Pictures of ducks next to platypides.
A monotreme. So there's one time Eggman calls him an echidna, just to really dig it in. Monotreme. Huh?
Yes, you're not a duck, you're a monorail or whatever. That's progress, I think.
Amazing. All right, let's go ahead and switch over into some super chats for a bit. We got one here starting off with one from the Feral Marshmallow. Thank you.
I like that handle.
It is a good one. Will you be selling IDW issue 50 signed on your store when it comes out? I absolutely have to get one. Also, which cover will it be? I'm partial to the Adam Bryce Thomas cover myself.
I expect to have a stock, but I don't know when that will come in. So if you are really itching for Sonic 50, do not wait on me. I want you to get the book that you want. I want you to enjoy yourselves. I do not want you to dodge spoilers for weeks on end. So please, do not wait on me. Get yourself the book and enjoy it. I believe I will be getting at least one of each cover. I'm not 100% sure, and they will be in limited stock. So follow me on Twitter, follow my website, because as soon as those things go live, I will announce it, but they will probably go very fast.
Huh. Alrighty then. Well, let's get into one here. A super chat from Duel Master. Thank you. How would you write a classic Sonic Kid Goku story, and what would their dynamic be?
Ooh. See, I'm not super familiar with Dragon Ball. I was introduced with Z, and I personally found it a little hard to go back to the slower, lighter pace of Dragon Ball, but that's my damage. That's not anything really against the series itself. But that would probably work really easy, arguably better than Z and modern Sonic, since the power levels are much more reasonable in Dragon Ball, and it's a lot more lighthearted. So you could have young Gohan, young Goku and classic Sonic, get into all sorts of antics, and then something actually terrible happens and they kick its ass. So maybe it's just because the next movie's coming up with such a big focus on the Red Ribbon Army, but I'm inclined to say have them tear through like some unknown general in the Red Ribbon, or Eggman aligns with the Red Ribbon Army. There you go. Tries to take it over, make it the Egg Ribbon Army.
Sure. I don't know. I don't know anything about Dragon Ball. Especially not the original Dragon Ball or GT or anything outside of what we watched of Dragon Ball Z Abridged. That's it, pretty much. Oh well. Here's a question from a Supersonic fan as a super chat. Thank you. How would Rough and Tumble do if they competed together on the Bro Down Showdown game show from Sonic Boom? How well do they know each other?
They would be frighteningly good. Like undefeated, record time answers. Like it's the one thing they would be competent at.
Yep.
And then they'd fight over the prize money or whatever the reward was, because, they each think that they totally earned it. They totally carried this team, despite the fact that, it's about knowing each other.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then they'd completely wreck the set and destroy everything, and it would be hilarious.
Yep.
All right, here's a question from Chaos Sonic 1. Super chat, thank you. Question, have you seen Getter Robo? It is interesting.
I have not. My experience with Getter Robo goes so far as when I see it, it looks familiar. It's like, I've seen that thing before, but yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it looks
Sorry.
familiar, but no, I've never seen it.
Add it to the list of things to watch and catch up on.
Of course.
Oh, that's a big list.
And it continues to grow. Oh well.
Just to give everyone a frame of reference, I didn't see Spider-Man No Way Home until like 2 weeks ago. That's how far behind I am on my media consumption. So,
Well, I didn't see it that long ago either, to be honest with you. So, oh well. Scurvy Pirate Hog has a super chat question. Thank you. So Chaos is a mutated shell, right? So what if Cheese mutated into another Chaos? Perfect Cheese? Him and Cream locked in the Master Emerald? Perfect Cheese. Uh-oh. You broke it
I'm
in.
just imagining. Now I'm just imagining gigantic, snarling, perfect Chaos, but with his itty-bitty bow tie.
Yep, that's it.
Whether or not it's actually attached to the throat or if it's just floating around in the goo inside. Also, Cheese, get him! Laser goes up through the city. Although, to give a serious answer, I think the question more is, when did Chaos become Chaos? Did he hatch as a mutant Chow and just gain that kind of power? Is he the result of multiple reincarnation cycles? When did he go from Chow to Chaos?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's the evolutionary steps that got him there, if any? Could be interesting. All right, and we got one last super chat from JJ Slider before we switch back to some standard questions. Thank you, JJ. Super forms have time traveled to beat foes, Went to the End of Time versus Time Eater and Solaris, but aren't shown using Chaos Control or past/future posts. Is this done with pure speed or a mystery inherent to time travel skill?
I think I missed the central part of the question.
Basically, how do super forms time travel? Because they're not shown using Chaos Control or past/future posts, like in Sonic CD and stuff.
They haven't time traveled, though.
They have time travel to beat foes, like Went to the End of Time versus Time Eater and then Solaris. I mean,
that's because Time Eater had destroyed time. There was no concept of time.
Okay.
Time Eater had not Time Eater. Solaris had rendered all points in time the same. Reality was folding in on itself. They just happened to be there to fight it. Same with Time Eater. Time Eater had erased time and created that weird tick-tocky, nebulous, whatever boss arena verse. They didn't travel through time. They just came to where Time Eater was.
Right.
The super forms don't time travel. They're just present when some other force has caused the time shenanigans.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That makes sense.
Does it?
I mean, whatever. It's Sonic, man. Nothing makes sense. Switching back to some standard questions for a bit. Here's one from Marshall H. I'm sorry if it's been asked before, but it doesn't pop up recently, so here goes. If you had the chance to write a script for either the next Mega Man or Mega Man X game, what would you pitch?
I do feel like we touched on this recently, but we have had so many standard questions in the chamber.
I know we've talked about
so many per month.
Like what you would do with a comic, I think, but not necessarily a game. I don't know.
No, okay, well, classic. I'm sorely tempted to tie a bow on classic to resolve it and set up the transition to X. I don't want to do that insofar as it means that's kind of the end and you can't have fun, just classic Mega Man adventures afterwards because you're done. You've reached the end of the story. But I kind of feel like the longer you draw it out, the more problems you potentially rise. And I'm not saying that it's really concrete between classic and X. It's not. But it's kind of like, okay, well, we know this has to wrap up eventually. What are we doing with? Like, between the tease of Zero in the arcade fighter and the Robo ends up being very clearly a precursor to the Maverick virus. And I think Evil Energy is probably in the mix there too.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like all the pieces are on the board, so why don't we just do it? As for X, that I decidedly want to tie a bow on. Like, I would love to do an X story that finishes off that era and sets up into the Elf Wars. Give X some kind of closure. Give Zero the closure where he recognizes what he was meant to be as a wily weapon and rejecting that. And give Axel the biggest W, because it seems pretty clear he's been infected by Sigma at the end of, was it X8 was the last one? I think so.
Yes, X8 was the last one. Sorry. Yes, good. Yes, you were right.
It's pretty clear Axel is supposed to be the new vessel for Sigma. So I say have his campaign be the search for a cure or a way to fight it off. And when you get the good ending, he kills Sigma. He ends the Sigma strain. He becomes the hero that he's always wanted to be, and he just finishes it. And probably have X and Zero do something similar so that they're not, useless in their own title. But finally delete Sigma. Just be done with it. And plant the seeds for the Elf Wars and be done with X. And then shoot, after that, I'd love to see an Elf Wars game or two.
Yeah. I don't know, something like that. Mega Man. It's almost as convoluted as Sonic. Almost.
I'd argue worse, but...
Yeah, well... Yeah. Good point. Here's a question from Rez. Was the Super Genesis Wave rewriting the entire universe of Mega Man and Sonic, or only the planet? Since the Genesis Wave apparently only rewrote Mobius and not the universe.
Super Genesis Wave rewrote all of Sonic's universe to get us out of any potential legal sticky areas. Mega Man is perfectly safe, so his universe wasn't touched.
Yes. He got lucky. Here's a question from Jeffrey St. John. So, Sonic Origins finally released this week. If you guys, including Jen and Rai, have played the game, are you enjoying it? And are there things in the compilation you like or dislike?
I haven't had a chance to sit down and play it yet. I want to. I've got it. I just haven't been able to get to it yet.
Well, your name's in the credits on it, so...
I know!
Danger.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It's a little scary for some people, I'm sure.
There's no point in being afraid of the inevitable.
You are inevitable.
I am inevitable.
It's true. It's true. You keep going. It just keeps happening. All right. I have not played it, but I've been looking a lot at it, and I'm like, a little rough. It's a little rough. It was weirdly rushed. Why did they rush it? What is going on? There's a lot of problems with it, but I mean, I like the idea behind it, but yeah, I'm gonna wait. Hopefully, they do like a patch or 2 or 5, and clean things up a little bit. So, and I don't know. Jen has not played it either, so because we don't have it. We do not own it yet, but maybe someday. Here's a question from Happy Times. What would the Moebius version of Archie Eggman's pre-reboot family be like? Snively, Hope, his brother Colin.
All right, so regular Snively is a backstabbing, self-serving, Weasley little worm of a man. Dreams big, but doesn't have the spine to back it up.
He does a lot of sniveling. He lives up to his name.
Aptly so, yes. So he would actually be Dr. Kentabor's best ally in this crazy world. He would be heroic. He would be tireless. He would be selfless. He would be arguably the better doctor of the two of them, but he's too humble to really admit it.
Mm-hmm.
Hope was generally just a nice girl. You know, she had a lot of tenacity. A lot of stuff got thrown her way, and she kept rolling with it. So I guess her anti-counterpart would be just bitter, glass half empty, always tearing others down because she can't build herself up. Just a miserable little runt of a nyeh.
Mm-hmm.
And Colin, jeez, number one, the original Colin would have to have a personality. He was kind of just your generic strong male figure, so make him a mean guy, I guess. There's not a lot of clay to mold with that one.
Well then, here's a question from Solatius R. Solitus R. Sorry, I probably completely butchered that the first time. Might have even butchered it the second time. Sorry about that. I really enjoy battles in shonen manga that last for multiple chapters. Comics have different limits, but could you manage to make a single elaborate fight divided through like 2 or 3 chapters? That's long.
In the way that Western comics are done, I don't think so. Because part of the reason why the shonen style fights work as well as they do is it comes out in a weekly or bi-weekly fashion, so you're not waiting that long between installments, and you have the ability to enjoy the fight, to languish in it, to give it multiple layers. With a Western style comic, it's a month between fights, and that would mean devoting, probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 months out of the year just for the conflict. Whereas your shonen fights are going to go weekly, so you miss out on a month of story. Not miss out, but the pacing is completely different. So I don't think it would. Oh, it would be lovely, to be sure. I'm right there with you. I love the way that some of the shonen fights have their own chapters and their own flow and their own narrative in terms of how the pacing goes. It's not just these two characters fight, but it's like they reach this point in the battle, and then they reach that point in the battle, and then there's a turn, and it's reached that point in the battle. It's really engaging. I just don't think we can work with the way comics are done here.
Woo-wee. We're up to 94 questions in the standard queue, so.
Almost got it.
And, wow. Okay, all right. Well, let's let Jed get caught up a little bit and jump over into some super chats for a bit, shall we? Here's one from a 120 Mask. Thank you. If Shadow gained the world rings, would his red marks change color too? Or is Black Doom's DNA so strong it would overpower it? Or did Izuka say only male hedgehogs that are blue can use that form?
That is a good question, because when Sonic went Dark Spine, he gained markings. So I would think that would mean a Dark Spine Shadow could have different markings as well. But this is also assuming that Dark Spine Shadow is getting the same rings as Sonic did, which I think would make enough sense in terms of the context of the story and the rings that Sonic got. But I think it stands to reason. Yeah, the markings could change.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Bleeding Thumbs 97 is here with a super chat. Thank you. I always found it interesting that the only canon mother in Sonic is a single mom. Any clue where Cream's MIA dad might be?
No clue. This is not official at all, but I think he's just not included so they don't overburden the extended cast.
Mm-hmm.
But it does beg the question.
Who is Cream's daddy and what does he do? We'll never know. We will never know. Meta Mode is here with a super chat question. Thank you very much. In issue 36, Rouge seemed very eager to get the heck out of Dodge once Cream spilled the beans. Vanilla didn't look too bothered, though. Is she the calm fury type? Her and Amy looked way too scared.
Oh yeah, there's a degree of mother anger that you just feel. It's not heard, it's not seen. You just feel that.
You just know it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a question from Stephen A. What's a franchise you think needs more love?
Skies of Arcadia.
I mean,
The franchise of one game.
I was gonna say that it is only one game.
I'd like to see Ristar return. Ristar, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 2 games for that one because the Game Gear game had a different stage and boss in it, so maybe
That's different enough.
kinda.
Yeah.
Mm.
Knights is a good one, I think.
Yeah.
It's had some sequels, but it's always kind of felt like a second-class SEGA franchise overall. Then again, most of SEGA's franchises are kind of left to die.
Yeah.
At
I mean,
this
I wouldn't
rate.
mind seeing a new Golden Axe, a new Streets of Rage would be neat.
Yeah, an actual proper Golden Axe instead of just that one level demo thing that threw the devs of it under the bus. With Golden Axed.
And frankly, I'm not going to go on to this long, angry, super nerdy tangent, but I wish to God we'd get a Star Fox that was just in the mold of 64.
But not a remake of the original again.
No reboots. No. I'm not going to do it.
Let's expand. Let's expand on the universe. I know. It's too much. We've gone too far. It's too much. Anyway, we got a super chat here from Speedweed. Thank you. All right, a little bit of a wild one. Surgeon Kit versus Samus. Maybe even Dark Samus gets thrown in the mix. What would you want to see out of it?
Explosions.
I was going to say.
I want to see everybody's powers, fully displayed. And as terrifying as Surgeon Kit are at maximum, watching Samus tear them apart would be great.
So is Samus, though, to be fair. She is a force of nature at full power.
There was a chat in a work-related Discord the other day, and somebody dropped the idea in everybody's lap: a Samus, a Metroid cartoon by Genndy Tarkovsky. And it's like, yes, that's perfect. That is exactly what this universe needs. Why do we not have this? Because if anybody could capture the pacing and the eeriness and the cinematic way of telling a Samus story, it would be him.
Okay.
Oh.
I had to be like, wait a minute. Who is that? Okay, Samurai Jack. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. I like it. It's a great idea. Call up Nintendo. All right, here's one from Daventhal. As the head writer of a comic, do you get to decide what is portrayed on the cover? If not, who does?
That's editorial. Sometimes I get to suggest an idea, and if I have a particular idea in mind, I'll fire it off to the editors and say, hey, I think this would be neat. I hope you agree. But I don't have any say in the end.
Yep. Okay.
Which
and
is fine. That's not my job.
And we're going to take the... we're going to do one more super chat, and then we'll switch back over to some standard questions. This one comes to us from Solara Stain. Thank you very much. As a novice writer, how can I make mooks into a threat that complements their faction without making them feel like cannon fodder?
Ooh. Um, it kind of depends on the power level of your protagonist. Like, if you've got something very street level, your Daredevil, your Batman type of thing, your mooks should be able to get a hit in on them. They should be able to coordinate. They ought to be able to at least hold their own. Like, they would be a legitimate threat to your average person on the street. Show them as an actual threat to the status quo. Show what they can do and why they are a hazard. So that when your hero comes in to pick them apart, your hero is either shown as the superior force, or if the mooks manage to hold their own briefly, you understand the dangers that the hero is putting themselves into for the sake of the greater good.
All right. Well, we're going to switch back into the standard questions, but I do want to announce that we already have over 100 and like 104 questions just waiting on the standard side. So we're going to go ahead and cut those off for now. Sorry, folks, if you didn't get your question in before now, but we already have a lot. So we're going to do our best to get through what we have today. And, if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments, email us at contact@BumbleKast.com, or hit us up on Twitter, or there's also Ko-fi, or you can also do super chats. We're still taking super chats, and that will continue on for probably at least another hour. So, all right, let's jump in with a question from Clara V. When Eggman read that Dark and Light Gaia do a world cosmology rebirth, was it referring to the Earth only or to the entire multiverse?
I'm assuming just the planet.
All right, here's a question from Blue Dragon. When the multiverse was rewritten, it stated it was the result of Sonic's chaos control combined with the Super Genesis wave. Is this true, or was it only Sonic's doing?
Well, insofar as Supersonic was trying to fix things and the Super Genesis wave reacted with it, Eggman kind of interrupted the process. So what was supposed to be a fix one way or the other got muddled and therefore reboot.
Mm-hmm. And here's a question from Stephen A. Do you guys like Lupin the Third? And if so, which ones do you like?
That one has been on the list of things I need to watch for a while now.
I like the third.
What little I've seen is very charming, but yeah. I have not seen enough to have like an informed opinion.
Yeah, I have not seen very much of it either. I think I've only seen like one of the movies, and this was like decades ago at this point. So I like the third though, the third one, because he's Lupin the Third. Is yeah. That what it means? Is that what that means? I don't know.
I get the joke.
I don't know what that means. Do you get the joke, Ian? I don't know. Should I drive it into the joke? Should I drive it into the ground even harder?
No. You're going to cause a tectonic shift if you do that.
Okay, well, good, because I like the third. Here's a question from Kater Station. There's a theory around saying that Tom Wachowski's father shot Maria, and in a deleted scene for Sonic Movie 2, he looks almost identical to Ian Flynn. Ian, did you shoot Maria?
Wait, back up. What?
What? Yeah, spoiler alert. There's a deleted scene that Tom Wachowski's dad is in a deleted scene, and he looks like Ian.
What? Really?
All right.
Okay.
Strange.
I want to see this scene now. I am curious.
I am very curious. I'm very curious.
If those dots do connect, and I am somehow applied to the reason my shadow has angst, I'm gonna find that hilarious. That's gonna be freaking funny. I don't think so. I think this is a lot of coincidence, but still, that's funny.
All right, we got one from Scruffy Matt. Metal Sonic meets Metal Ian. What happens next?
Some very robotic dialogue from Metal Ian until he gets shredded into confetti.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Metal Ian is not. Metal Ian is a very rickety creature who was not built with the latest technology, let's say. So yeah, he
His
would
only
not
offensive
last.
capabilities are 4-letter words.
It's true. It's true. And here's one from Vlad C. No money memes aside, I'm surprised we haven't seen a real deep cut. Mentions of Big and Small Louie, Vector's creditors from Free Riders. Is this something we could see referenced in the future?
I hope so. I really hope so, because I actually want to see Big and Small Louie now.
Why not?
Although I honestly wonder if Free Riders is still considered part of the lineup, considering just how fringe and abysmal it was.
I mean, you didn't even remember it enough for it to be in the encyclopedia.
See, I still don't remember if that was an oversight. Okay, like, here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
If I did actually overlook it, SEGA didn't think to correct that and put it in. So, and they did, add some games to the big chronology at the end. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. And we got a question here from Metal Skulkbane. If Archie Eggman went Humpty Dumpty and his generals reenacted Game of Thrones, who would sit on the Egg Throne? Reboot and pre-boot Origins. Iron Queen is still in jail.
Jeez. God, who was even active pre-reboot in terms of sub-generals? Was there anybody? It's been so long, I don't remember.
I don't. What is it? Lian Da?
Yeah, I guess she would pull a Cersei and go for the throne first and foremost. And I'm glad Kragok's dead, because that would be very awkward parallels. Post reboot, probably Thunderbolt would fight everyone off the throne, not for herself, because she just didn't want anybody replacing Eggman. You can't have the throne. If he can't have it, no one can.
Yeah.
Wendy would probably go for it. I don't know if Ma would. He'd probably kind of just pull a little finger and hang back to see who came out on top and go from there. Auklet, I don't think we'll want to bother with an entire... Auklet was pre-reboot, wasn't he?
I don't freaking remember.
Shoot, man.
Conquering Storm? Did you mention her?
She would probably go for it insofar as just to raise her own clan's status.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she doesn't really aspire to rule the world, but it would be a power grab that would raise her people up, and therefore she'd go for it. Battle Cuckoo, yeah, he's a conqueror. He'd go for it. But, like, jeez, I forget. Because did we have the full set pre and post? I'm sorry, it's been so long since I've had to go.
I'm being told Killer Whale was in both.
Auklet was in both? Okay. Right, because he was the whale. He was the actual whale post reboot. That was the joke. No, because he got mobianized the second time, right? Man.
Yeah. And there was a Nerb sub-boss.
Yeah. He would definitely make a power grab with that Bale steam shovel arm of his.
Uncle Bo, Drago Wolf. I don't know, man.
Drago would go for it, but he'd be dead within the first hour.
Yeah. Mordred Hood, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Tundra. I don't know, man. There's so many of these guys. All right, let's not get bogged down with these questions so much. Here's a question from Shonen Boys. Hey, Ian and Kyle, how would you describe Mega Man and Proto Man's dynamic compared to X and Zero? Would Zero be more of an open Big Brother figure for X, like in the games, if the X comics existed?
Where I eventually wanted Blues and Rock to end up was there was an understood kinship that they did care for each other, but there was an estrangement.
Yeah.
More on Blues's end that he really just couldn't bring himself to reconcile to a degree, but Rock would understand that and give him his space. Kind of like, I know that you have your issues. I'm always going to be here when you get over them. Until then, you do you. I miss you. I wish you'd come home, but I'm not going to force the issue.
Yeah.
For X and Zero, I don't see it as a brotherly thing. It's more of a mentor role.
Sort of.
Especially early on. Like X1 especially is Zero's the badass. And X, depending on which continuity you go with, I prefer the original pass where he had just joined the Hunters out of desperation because Sigma had gone rogue.
Yeah.
He's not a fighter. He is not trained for any of this. He's not prepared. He just grabbed a buster and tried to do his best, and then Vile handed him his blue ass. So eventually it would become a kind of comrade in arms type of thing. They've been through hell and back. There is a mutual trust there that's been built over multiple harrowing adventures. And not gonna lie, from what I remember of some of the scenes, it's like, are you sure they weren't trying to pitch a shipping angle on these two? Because some of those anguished cries, some of that clutching each other kind of close. I mean, I understand there's, a manly bond, but sometimes it doesn't even feel like subtext. I don't know.
I mean, why can't that be manly?
It can. I don't know.
I don't know, man. All right, here's a question from Yes. You said absorbing emeralds after already absorbing 7 emeralds doesn't mean much, but does that mean there's no boost or a little boost? Are there more than 7 emeralds? I don't know. At this point, it's up in the air.
I don't remember the context of the original quote, but I think the underpinning idea is once you have unlimited power, adding more unlimited power doesn't really do anything for you.
That's why hypersonic is no different other than being like all flashing colors.
Well, I mean, you get the full screen flash. I feel like there is a distinction between
okay, you do get that. Yeah, there is the screen clear.
But it is more of like a little boost.
It's very small.
It's not as huge a difference as super from normal.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's jump over into some super chats for a bit and jump into this one from Chaos Sonic 1. Since the Yago clan are bats, was Rouge part of that clan? Was SBO also part of the Shinobi clan? The theory is she's related to the Bride of Rich Knights.
No, Rouge is a completely different species of bat. The Yagyu bats are, you can look at them, they have wings coming out of their arms, and hers are coming out of her shoulders. She's not related to the Yagyu clan at all. But yeah, SBO was pretty clearly the son of Constant Vigil. We weren't really coy with that.
Here's a question, super chat from Scurvy Pirate Hog. Thank you. What if Belle the Tinkerer met Eggman's anti-Mobius counterpart, Dr. Ivo Kintobor?
She'd like him. He's pleasant enough, easy to work with, but he's no Mr. Tinker.
And here's a super chat from Supersonic Fan. Thank you. How would IDW Sonic get along with Movie Sonic?
I think we touched on this in a previous episode.
I think we have
fairly recently.
Yeah, we've talked about how like Classic Sonic and IDW Sonic and Boom Sonic and Movie Sonic would all get along, I think.
But I feel
And,
like IDW Sonic / Modern Sonic would take on kind of a big brotherly role to Movie Sonic.
Yeah, I think we did say that, like a mentor sort of role.
Yeah, I mean, I think technically they're the same age, but Modern Sonic has seen more action. He is more experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a little more, I dare say it, mature. So I could see him taking on that mentor role.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And we got one here, another one from Chaos Sonic 1. Just to make sure, did any of you, Jen and Aaliyah included, watch Inuyasha? To me, it is what introduced me to adult anime.
I don't know if Aaliyah has. I've seen like 2 episodes, maybe.
That's probably about as much as I saw too, as a kid watching Adult Swim. But yeah, that was decades ago. I mean, it's not. Apparently, people are questioning it being an adult anime. Well, it was on Adult Swim, so I guess. I don't know. But I don't think, Jen, have you seen
Nope.
Inuyasha? She says no. Are you there, Ian?
Yep.
Okay. And we got one here from Omega Watt. Just wanted to ask, because I've heard different things in different places. Is your involvement with IDW ending or being put on hold after issue 50?
No, it's just Evan is lead writer, so she's writing the series.
But you're still there, lurking.
Yeah, I'm still there. I mean, we're already plotting what comes on after that. So yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I'm still with IDW Sonic.
You're lurking in the shadows, always watching, waiting, biding your time. You're always there.
Right behind you.
That's the thing with Sonic. Ian is always just off screen, pulling the strings. Here's a question from JJ Slider. In the TE fight, Tails says the Sonics were in a different dimension, but the arena seems the same before and after the fight starts. Are the Sonics in a parallel universe or going through the time stream, hence random level items?
I don't know.
TE fight.
Time Eater, I'm assuming.
Time Eater, okay.
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
I don't know, man. That's weird. There's weird things going on. It's all wibbly wobbly, timey wimey nonsense. That's what it is. Thigh meter. And we got a super chat from Sarcasmus. Thank you. Without going into detail, can you elaborate on the characters allowed to you by SEGA? Is the cast something force-sized or otherwise? What kind of flexibility did they allow for characterization?
To the best of my knowledge, we have the modern cast at our disposal. That means anyone who's shown up in a modern game from Adventure onward that isn't like canonically dead. And even then, there might be some room for debate because honestly, what happened to Tikal and Chaos at the end?
Mm-hmm.
Post that one on Twitter and enjoy your replies for the next week.
Mm-hmm.
Characterization needs to be on point with what the current branding of the characters are. That's pretty self-evident. And I want to rewind real quick because I feel like that was not a very satisfying answer to the last super chat. I don't know what they were trying to convey during the Time Eater fight. And I feel like the whole time travel and alternate dimension stuff that is following around with classic Sonic is confused at this point. It could be the whole alternate dimension thing is because time is the fourth dimension, and therefore time travel is technically dimensional travel. I don't know is the summation of it's a mess and I don't know what is being done about it.
I don't know either. All right. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and switch back over to some standard questions for a bit and get right into it with this one here from Rosie Mix. What if only female hedgehogs could turn super? How would this change the events of the classic trilogy or even Adventure 1?
That's a good question since Amy is absent from most of the adventure.
She would have to it would have to show up, or I guess Sonic would have to be female. Sure, why not?
I think that'd be fun too. But I feel like Amy is due.
But
something,
Amy
so,
is yes.
like, okay, Sonic 1, they didn't really come into play. They weren't really used. They were just gathered by Sonic. Sonic CD is all about the time stones and that, so she's, non-issue. Sonic 2, they don't really come into play until the finale, and that's the good ending.
Right.
And Sonic somehow goes super after defeating the Death Egg robot. It just happened. I don't know.
It's just
And
cool.
then,
That's why.
So Amy's involvement wouldn't have been crucial. A super Amy would not have been crucial to any of the storylines. Where he gets sticky is Sonic 3 and Knuckles. So, I don't know, Sonic gathered the Chaos Emeralds in Sonic 2 and hands them off to Amy, and she joins them on the trip to Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I don't know. We'd be looking at something like major revision.
Yeah.
Or I'm thinking too hard about it, and you just play through the original Origins set as Amy. Well, why not?
Sure, I'm down. Make it happen, somebody. Why isn't she playable in Origins? Huh? Nobody even thought about that, huh? Or maybe they did and they just didn't have time to implement it. Which sounds likely. Here's a question from Cherry Sapphire Cherry. How old are Knack, Bean, and Bark? Bean and Bark were once stated to be 16 and 19. Is this still true?
I'm not sure, but I would imagine they're all in that kind of nebulous teen pre-adult range.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Honey and Lemon have a question. Has a question. I don't know if it's two separate people or if they are just someone who calls themselves Honey and Lemon. Tails is Sonic's adopted little brother, but with him having practically raised Tails and being the main figure in his life, could he also be considered his guardian? And do they live together?
I mean,
Sonic doesn't really live anywhere, so
guardian seems to imply a degree of responsibility and legal status, and I don't think that really applies. Like, Sonic will look after Tails for sure, but I think that's more in just the capacity of he likes him and they're close.
Ain't no law in Sonic's world.
I don't know. And Sonic doesn't really live anywhere, but he does kind of just like crash wherever Tails is. It's like, hey, buddy, working on something cool. Can I have your couch? Thanks. Bye. And Tails hasn't been able to look up from the workbench yet. He's like, what? Oh, Sonic's here. Hey.
It's like, oh, where'd you come from? And we got a question here from Raphael C. Just as Chaos and the Chaos Emeralds are related to each other, could Solaris and the Soul Emeralds be related to from an unknown event? Not only do they share the name, the Latin word for sun, but that could also explain Blaze's presence in Sonic 06.
Maybe, but then it begs the question of why is the fire god on Sonic's world tied to the gems of Blaze's dimension? And there is the theory that after the end of 06, Blaze went to the dimension and basically founded it, but that doesn't jive with other story content. And I'm going to fall back to that Time Eater answer. I don't know.
It's a mess, is what it is. Someone should clean that up. All right. This one is from Yo. You said before that the emeralds fusing didn't change their power because infinity times 2 equals infinity. But lower and higher infinity exist. It should have made them stronger, as the Master Emerald is stronger.
Maybe in mathematical theory, there's a concept of higher and lower infinity. I think that's bunkus.
Mm-hmm.
And if something is infinite, it has no limitations. Therefore, there can be no higher or lower end because there is no end. That doesn't make any sense. But I'm not going to argue with someone who understands math theory because I struggle with algebra and I am done with math forever and I don't have to deal with it anymore. The Master Emerald itself is not stronger per se. It just has different properties. You know, having a negative charge does not mean it's stronger than a positive charge. You know, a magnet is one end of the magnet is not stronger than the other. It's just different.
Besides, we all know infinite is mid anyway. At best. Here's one from Winston King. What is your opinion on Minecraft?
Oh, I enjoy it. It's a game that I can pick up and get obsessed with for like a week and have the huge project ideas and I'm going to do this and this is great to explore and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm done. Like I'm done with it for a few months. And then every now and again, that itch will come back. And it's like, where was I on that last file? I have no idea. Where am I even on the map? You know what? I'm just going to start over. And, ooh, what if I did this? What if I did that? Oh, that great big project's going to be over there. Oh, this is a great cave. Look at all these resources. And I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Still haven't played the Sonic tie-in stuff, which I should get to at some point. But no, it's fun. I've not gotten into it nearly as deeply as some folks. Like none of the mods, none of the like functioning calculators and circuit boards people have made with Redstone. That's beyond me. None of the mega structures that people have made in creative mode, and what people have done with it is fascinating. I'm just kind of the boot up the map and put it on fairly easy mode because I don't want to deal with the creeper on night 1 and I have nothing but my wooden pickaxe. And just, dink around and have some fun. And, oh yeah, there was that underwater cave that was making a big aquarium trying to put axolotls in. That's what I did last time. That didn't go so well.
Yeah. I think Minecraft is cool. I played a little bit of it when it was new-ish, and it's been a long time. But, yeah, it's good. It's cool. I appreciate the creative aspect of it, and it's a great educational tool for sure. But, I mean, I played a little bit, and I kind of got into it, and then I finished my thing that I built into it, and I was done. And that's it. I was done. I didn't do anything else. I didn't go into the nether or anything like that. I just kind of made a thing and then was like, okay, this thing is done. So now I'm done. So,
Aaliyah made this really awesome looking pagoda, or not a pagoda, a very incredibly convincing Japanese style multi-story house thing. And it was really the amount of curvature she was able to get out of these right angles was impressive. My desire to actually play through the game properly was killed when I didn't want to spoil myself on everything. So I looked up just enough to understand what you're supposed to do with the Eyes of Ender and how to get to the Nether and all that. And so I found the Citadel. I completed the portal. I was decked out in all my finest diamond gear, went through the portal, confronted the Ender Dragon. First thing he did was swat me off into the abyss, and I died, and I woke up back in my village with all my gear gone. It's like, well, I'm done.
Yep, that's one way to do it. Oop. And we got one more, and then I'm going to switch back to Super Chats for a bit. This one from Stacy H. Has it ever been considered to have the Game Cat voice dub an IDW comic? Gamecast voice. Okay. Sorry, some misspellings on this one. Game cat voice. So Big the Cat. Okay, let me finish. Has it ever been considered to have the Gamecast voice / dub an IDW comic? Would be cool for the 50th issue, and to get canon voices for Surge and Kit and Starline. Your time to shine, Ian.
I don't know if there's been any official consideration. I brought it up at one point way back in the day, and it's like, that's a cool idea. Who's going to fund it?
Yeah.
What is this going to do?
Yep.
Voice acting costs money. So what is that money going to do? It's like, I don't know. It'd just be neat. Could we do it anyway? No. So I don't know what that kind of project would ultimately be, but I'd love to see that done.
Yeah. That would be great. Yeah. Here's one from... All right. I did say we were going to switch over to Super Chat, so we're going to do that. We're still taking Super Chats, by the way, so if you guys have a hole burning in your wallets, you know what to do. You can throw it our way. We appreciate you. Here's a question. Super Chat from 120 Masked. Thank you very much. If Chaos got his hands on the Super Emeralds, what would he become? Even Perfecter Chaos? Perfect Chaos Pro Max? Perfect Chaos M1.
Hyper Chaos.
Hyper Chaos. Hyper is above perfect? Even be more perfecter?
Well, no, I guess not, because you go super to hyper, so perfect would have to become superlative chaos.
Mm-hmm. And here's a super chat from Duel Masters Hideout. Julie Sue and Lara Lee have somewhat been transported onto Angel Island of the main Sonic universe. How would Knuckles react, and what would his relationship be with him, especially with Julie Sue?
It would be awkward all the way around, because this would be the first time Knuckles is seeing another living echidna. Like, the closest he got were the flashbacks that Tikal showed him, and they don't count. So he would be wary, I'd imagine, because where are these echidnas coming from when there haven't been any before? Of all the times for him to not be naive and just accept things at face value, this would be the time that he'd be on guard. It's too good to be true. I'm not falling for this. This has to be an Eggman trick. Julie Sue would be... Well, both her and Lorelei, I would imagine, would be kind of torn out of the frame that they've lost everything they've ever known. Like, all the society, all the history, all the people that they've known are just gone now. Everything that they've endured is just not there. And that would take some time to get some adjustment. And even the Knuckles that they knew is gone. So they can't even find that anchor point. It would take a great deal of adjusting. And I think Lorelei would be the one to do it the most gracefully between the two of them. Julie Sue has a bit of a temper and not the greatest amount of patience.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see her kind of storming off to just kind of implode for a little bit. But Modern Knuckles is enough of a straight shooter and competent enough that he'd be like, all right, well, this is the situation now. Let's deal with it. Kind of nice to have a mom. Didn't know I could have one of those. And they would eventually acclimatize and settle on the island. It does beg the question, which Lorelei do we get? Do we get pre-destruction of Echidnopolis or post-destruction of Echidnopolis? Because if it's pre-destruction, she's still going to be very used to that cosmopolitan lifestyle. But if it's post, she's gotten used to roughing it in the wild, so she'd be fine. Maybe suggest putting a roof over the Master Emerald. Doesn't it rain on you, dear? But Julie Sue might have to like set up shop in Launch Base because she needs an air conditioner, for pity's sake. I mean, yeah, it's lovely out here, Knuckles, but can we get some running water?
What do you need that for? The water runs down the stream. Go over there.
I want to bathe. There's the stream. It's cold. And
It's good for you. Wakes you up. And here's a question from a super chat from Jeffrey St. John. Thank you. Do any of you two watch The Angry Video Game Nerd? I've recently been watching his videos again. If not, are there any video game YouTubers you do watch?
I think I saw his episode on the Jaguar.
That's an older one.
And mostly I remember that for, him having the cat fight the loading screen.
Yes.
That's most of what I remember.
I remember the Jaguar CD where it looks like a toilet. So he drops chunky chocolate on it. He's not very mature,
But no, I've not really seen. I don't know. Nothing against him because clearly he's found an audience and longevity, so good on him. But I'm not really drawn to the YouTube creators whose programs revolve around outrage and impatience over older stuff, because there's enough outrage and I have enough impatience as it is. So I want something that's it's not my personal cup of tea. Again, not knocking him. He has his brand, he has his form of presentation, and it obviously works for him. So more power to him.
Mm-hmm.
The only
honestly, it's pretty mellowed out over time. Even now in character, he's still kind of he's definitely not nearly as just outright angry as he used to be.
So
he still gets mad. He still drops many a swear. But I don't know, man. He seems a bit different these days. It's not like he's more restrained or anything. It's more like he's just more, I guess, weary. I guess maybe he's just tired. But I've been watching AVGN since he was pretty much new, and I still think he's pretty great. Like the most recent video just put out was one where he's playing a Wii game where you take care of cats, and there's literally a cat litter box scooping minigame in there, and it kind of blew his mind. Because it was literal turds, literal poop in a video game. To say, it was about to make a joke where this game is less fun than playing with actual cat turds in a litter box. But it turns out in the game you actually do that. And that was very entertaining. So I still think it holds up pretty well. His best thing though was Board James, which is something I've been meaning to go back through, where it slowly turns from him reviewing and talking about memories of board games and playing board games with other guys, and slowly turns into this like horror, basically like a horror movie. Like over time, through multiple episodes, it starts to morph into something much deeper and way more gruesome and horrific than it was intended to be originally. And it's really well done in that respect. So that's definitely one of the best things he's done. So I would recommend going through that series. I don't want to spoil it too much, but Dream Phone gets real wild. So yeah.
In terms of video game related YouTube creators that I follow, I guess just some quick shout outs here. Looking at my subscription list. Terminal Montage.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. A bunch of game stuff like, music groups like the Megas, Power Glove, Family Jewels.
Mm-hmm. Lots of musicians and video game remixer guys. Yep.
Yeah. Chip and Ironicus. Like, the only reason I am a fan of Metal Gear Solid is because of their LPs.
Yeah.
8-Bit Music Theory, which is on a level that just completely beyond me, but he has so much fun explaining video game music that his entertainment
Yeah.
with it, his love for it is infectious.
Mm-hmm.
Toxic Eternity, Richard E.B., Omega Evolution, who does a lot of like just boss fights and not full LPs but spotlight stuff, and just the level of ability he's shown off in some of the Tales of series is like, oh, that's how you're supposed to play the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Matt McMuscles.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Jacksepticeye. And yeah, that kind of stuff.
I'll just throw a couple out there too. I watch Accursed Farms, who is
Yes, thank you.
Ross Scott with the Freeman's Mind, the Half-Life playthrough where you with running commentary from Gordon Freeman himself. It's very well done. Let's see. Barry Kramer.
Game Dungeon stuff is really good too.
Oh yeah, Game Dungeon is fantastic. Super long though, in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's justified. He's very entertaining. Barry Kramer, most known for his big old Kingdom Hearts overview, I suppose. What is the plot of Kingdom Hearts? It's insane, is what it is. Oh man. Digital Foundry, because I'm a big tech nerd, so when they do the tech reviews on stuff and see, actually do deep dives into how the graphics and physics, technology, and AI and stuff, the things that they go into is pretty cool. And also DF Retro is fantastic. Just I'd love that overview of the classic games like that. They go into so much deep stuff on that one, on those series. It's great. Gaming Historian is legendary. Good old Norm. He's awesome. And also in that similar vein is GTV Japan, which is a very very cool documentary channel, mostly covering video games, but it's more from a perspective from the Japanese side of things. So that's a very fascinating show. So that's just some of them. So, all right, let's not dilly-dally any further and move on to a question here from Mr. Krabs. If you have to pick a video game crossover that would fit well with Sonic, what game would it be? For me, it would be Ratchet and Clank. I was about ready to say Ratchet and Crank. Ratchet and Clank.
I feel like it needs to cross over with Mario. That has to happen. It needs to, and I don't mean the Olympic Games. I mean an actual, like, honest to goodness action platformer, for pity's sake.
Mm-hmm.
And Sonic's versatile enough, you could probably find a way to fit him into a lot of stuff. But if he's going to do another major brand crossover, I feel like we just need to have that happen.
Yeah. I don't know, man. a franchise. Bubsy. Or Mega Man, there we go. Yeah, what the heck? Why haven't we had a Mega Man Sonic crossover game? do that.
I don't know. I'd like to see the Sonic and Bubsy one just for Bubsy to kind of go, Sonic, huh? I heard you had a rough transition to 3D. And Sonic just kind of stares at him.
Oh no. Oh man. Is this the same stare that he's giving Guile when he does a Sonic Boom in Worlds Unite? Sonic Boom. He's sitting there
This kind of
glaring at him.
bewildered look of, yeah, are you serious or not? I can't tell. Am I insulted or am I just feeling sorry for you? I don't.
Oh man. I'm seeing a suggestion here for Freedom Planet. I mean, yeah, that kind of goes without saying, to be honest with you, because I mean they originally started as Sonic fan characters. So yeah, why the heck not? Let's do it. They have similar gameplay styles. They could work in each other's games quite well. I think that would be perfect. I like it. Here's a super chat from Meta Mode. Thank you. If Omega was built to guard Shadow and he was the one to capture Shadow in 06's bad future, doesn't that mean Eggman finally made a robot with a decent shot at beating Sonic, but it won't listen to him?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like the one time he finally builds a robot that could take on Sonic, it doesn't want to destroy Sonic.
Because, like,
sucks to suck, Eggman.
I don't think he was built to guard Shadow specifically. I think he was built to be the last of the E100s. But then because the Neo Metal thing was rapidly getting out of control, he stuck Omega in there as that last second guard. But Omega didn't get the memo. He just thinks he got locked away in a storage closet and is being ignored. So the entire thing is a big misunderstanding. And I really, really want to see that scene where Eggman explains, no, you idiot. I put you there on purpose because you were the only one I could trust to do this job. The entire reason you've been tearing my army apart is because you're too stupid to realize that.
Mm-hmm.
And Omega goes, oh, well, you have insulted me. Resume carnage.
Yes. And we are going to take one last super chat before jumping back over to the standard questions for a bit. And this one from Scurvy Pirate Hog. We take the entire Sonic movie 2, but we replace Movie Knuckles with Boom Knuckles. How different is the movie now?
In terms of action beats, probably not all that different.
Yeah.
But all the charmingly stupid bits that Knuckles has are just dialed up to 11, and then there's extra.
But does he question why he's going after Sonic? It's like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm here now. Hi.
Like, he just shows up on the mushroom planet and he's like, hi, I'm lost. Can you help? And Carrie Eggman's like, oh, we can help each other. And Boom's like, oh, okay, this doesn't seem ominous or threatening at all. Mm-hmm. Thank you, stranger, who looks exactly like my mortal nemesis.
Why do you do that Jim Carrey impression so well?
I mean, he puts Sonic through the wall at the house and he's like, sorry, I don't really know why I'm fighting another version of my best friend, but when in Rome, beat up the Romans.
Oh, man. Yeah. It's pretty much the same, but it's just Knuckles is a lot dumber. And even then, still not very different.
And when they get to that big poignant scene on the beach, instead of talking about, losing families and finding friendship and, the actual moral core of the movie, Sonic's like, so, do you understand now that Eggman's the bad guy? Yeah, I caught up now. So you want to go beat him up? Just like that? Just like that. Yeah, okay, let's go. Sure would be nice if we had a plane right about now. And here comes the tornado.
Here comes Tails. Saving the day yet again, like he always does.
Oh, hey, Tails. I thought they wrote you out of this story.
Yes, we need Boom Knuckles to sit there and just break the fourth wall the whole time. Yeah, I'm down. I'm very into this. I'm very into just replacing Knuckles with Boom Knuckles for all time.
No. I need my.
I'm kidding.
I need my classic Coke Knuckles.
I'm kidding. But I mean, still would be kind of funny.
Oh yeah. Boom Knuckles is allowed to be. He is the cherished thing that he is because he is in contrast to standard Knuckles.
Yes, and I think that's what some people don't get. Some people are like offended by him, and I kind of get that, but at the same time, it's like he's a different take, you know. He's a beautiful cinnamon roll. Nobody attack him, please. He doesn't deserve it. All right, jump back over to the standard questions. Here's one from Bro. Why is Eggman stupid, and instead of each time bringing only a new thread, he doesn't bring many? Imagine him using the power of the stars, infinite time meter, and the Master Emerald at the same time.
Well, he'd have to acquire them all, and just going after one is going to get the attention of the heroes.
Mm-hmm.
It also requires him to control them all, which he has had mixed results with.
Time meter being the only one, the only successful one, really. I guess the Master Emerald. He had a pretty decent handle on the Master Emerald for a little bit.
And Infinite never actually betrayed him. Infinite was loyal.
I guess that's true, yeah.
Whatevered.
Yeah. That's just, I don't know, man. Sometimes a guy just gets over his head. Oh, well. Here's one from Alec J. Hey, Ian, after watching Kenobi, it kind of got me wondering, who in your opinion would win in a fight between Kenobi and Blaze the Cat, since Kenobi can parry fire with the Force?
I haven't seen Kenobi yet.
Me neither.
I've heard mixed things, but I don't know. What little I've seen of Ewan McGregor in the role is like, you look like someone who could turn into Alec Guinness in 20 years. That 1,000-yard stare, man. It's like, I've seen some things. And then said, hello there. I mean, it might be a fairly even fight. Depends on what level of Jedi we're going at. Like, are we talking movies Jedi? Are we talking Genndy Tarkovsky Clone Wars Jedi? Because that's a little different. But not only does Blaze have the firepower, keep in mind she's sonic fast. And that's really fast. But then again, Force users can alter their perception of the flow of time, which is how they're able to deflect blaster bolts, or at least that's how I remember one incarnation of the explanation being.
That's how Anakin is able to handle a pod racer too. His perception of speed and time.
Or, it helps guide you so that you're able to react without being fully conscious of it. So, I don't know. I'd say it'd be a fairly even fight.
Yeah. I think it would be an interesting fight. But, I mean, eventually they'd probably have to reconcile the differences and be like, okay, fine. We're on the same side.
Oh, sure.
Because probably that's what it would be.
Here's the real question, though. If Blaze can control fire, can she control the plasma in the lightsaber?
Ooh. Now you're getting too science. You're getting too sciencey for these science fantasy franchises, Ian. I don't think you can do that. All right, here's one from Asta K. Is Super Archie Sonic below the power of an emerald? Because he's far inferior to Chaos Knuckles, who is said to be a living Chaos Emerald. It's not Chaos Knuckles, it's Green Knuckles. Thank you very much. Apparently.
I mean, Chaos Knuckles did do some reality warping, and Supersonic didn't, but that could also be a matter of Supersonic not being stupid enough to try to warp space-time. So, I don't know. There was a degree of inconsistency in terms of how the mystical powers were written across the board at that time.
Mm-hmm. And here's one from Pizza Imperial. In the Sonic Origin cutscenes, we see two fox bullies. Can we get a spin-off comic of this duo? I think we need that representation so that bullies who read Sonic can relate to something. Well, we have Rough and Tumble.
Yeah, but they're classic characters. Rough and Tumble don't exist in classic Sonic.
Maybe these guys could be Rough and Tumble of the classic universe then.
Maybe.
But then again, we already have the hooligans too. Although really only Knack is kind of a bully there, or Fang, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
I think it's I think it is officially Fang now, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, Fang is a different type of bully,
right,
compared to Rough and Tumble.
Yeah. He's a bit he's a bit smarter, a little.
Oh, by far.
I mean, at least a little smarter. But yeah, I mean, it's not difficult to be smarter than Rough and Tumble, to be fair.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's what makes him great. Here's a question from Laba. What if Goku and Vegeta train Sonic and Shadow and learn them skills?
Well, are we going to assume that hedgehogs have the same exponential trainability that Saiyans do? Because then we're getting kind of ridiculous. Well, you know what? Why not? I mean, they already can alter space-time with a Chaos Emerald in hand. What kind of biology is that? You know? Sure, Goku and Vegeta are planet busters at this point, but how is that any different from someone who can use a single magical MacGuffin to stop time?
Yeah.
You know? But sure, I could see that working, and it would definitely have to be Goku and Sonic and Vegeta and Shadow, because I don't think a cross mixture would be tolerated by anybody.
All right, and we're going to get into this question here from Syad C, and then switch back to Super Chats for a little bit. Actually, we're at an hour and a half, Ian. How are you feeling?
Yep. We're doing good. We got to get through those Super Chats for sure.
Yes, we do. All right, well then, let's go ahead and not waste any time. Get into the standard question here from Syad C. How would Sonic and the Wisp versus Eclipse and the Dark Arms play out?
I'd imagine fairly evenly paced, because Eclipse is more directly tied to the Dark Arms, and they were specifically designed for him, so they should be, in principle, a more potent upgrade. But Sonic, being Sonic, has a wider array of wisps to call upon, and he's got the protagonist plot armor. So it would not be an easy fight, to be sure, but I can see Sonic coming out on top in the end.
All right, and let's jump over into Super Chats, starting off with one from Dove. Thank you. Is SBO Arishikage? I'm not sure if that's pronounced. But did he train with Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow? What if he was/did G.I. Joe SBO, now with ninja kick action?
See, you'd say this to him, and he'd just roll his eyes, and that's not what real ninjutsu is all about. And then you find the custom G.I. Joe SBO figure that he has in his personal space that does indeed have the kung fu action. And he plays dumb. He doesn't know how it got there. What are you doing in his room anyway? Get out!
I like how SBO's voice is just kind of Shadow's voice, but more like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, it's
But
they're the same kind of like hushed stoicism, but SBO is more businesslike, and Shadow's trying to, at least more recently, trying to be a little more menacing? Question mark.
He's trying to be edgy.
Yeah.
Is he succeeding? Yes. Question mark. And here's a super chat from James. Thank you. Could Knuckles just be exaggerating about it? Could Knuckles just be exaggerating about his famous treasure hunter moniker? How can he already be famous while living alone? Wondering if Mobians on and off the island talked about him pre-Sonic 3.
Oh, all the little animals on the island know how great he is. Of course he's famous. What do you mean there's the rest of the planet? Well, once they hear about him, they'll know he's famous too.
That's right. Never heard of Knuckles, the famous treasure hunter? Well, now you have. And you know he's famous. Here's a question from Testing. Thank you for your super chat. Are you the Sonic equivalent of Dave Filoni?
No.
Why not?
That would suggest a degree of authority and executive command that I do not have.
I mean, you guys do look similar. You wore a hat once.
Oh, I see how it is. It was Dave sired Tom and shot Maria to frame me.
Yeah, that's probably what it
all comes
was.
together.
Now you figured it out. Yep. And
Joke's on you both. We're actually just two clones of each other. We're part of the next wave of clone troopers.
Clone Ians. It's time. All right, here's a super chat from Excel Hedge. Thank you. Which of IDW Comics licensed or originals would you like to have a crossover with IDW Sonic with? Maybe a crossover series like IDW Infestation?
Maybe Sonic and Ninja Turtles. I feel like it has to happen at some point. I mean, it's right there. Why not?
It's happened before in a very tiny cameo in the background of the very old Archie Sonic book. Come on. There's precedent.
I've been waiting for that to just kind of happen because I assumed it would. Maybe I need to give that a push.
Yeah, you might have to
ring some bells.
You might have to plant the seed on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have to go like, turtles. And we have another super chat from JJ Slider. If Solaris made time meaningless, why is it crucial Solaris was in all eras? Time Eater fully erased time, but the encyclopedia says characters traveled through the end of time? Didn't the Sonics restore space-time in the levels?
Yes.
It's all wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey nonsense is what it is.
I mean, you can't really be too concrete when reality itself is not concrete. It's really hard to put defined parameters on something when the idea of parameters doesn't exist. When you try to say what time is it, how much time do we have left, and the answer is there's no such thing as time, how do you contextualize that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Here's one from OzJam H. To Ian and Kyle, what do you think about side characters that people think should be the main character instead? Examples being Mirio from MHA or Rock Lee from Naruto. Do you think they would be better for the stories being told?
I don't know who those are.
My Hero Academia, I'm assuming for MHA. It's Mirio. Mirio. Mirio?
Hold on. Tagada. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
No, like Tagada Lemillion, like no. Okay, well, back up. Okay. So I don't want to spoil anything from My Hero Academia, and I especially don't want to spoil Tagada's arc because, oh my God, I'm gonna get misty-eyed just not talking about it. Oh, that's heartbreaking. Anyway, the entire point of Tagada is for him to be a representative of something for Midoriya to compare himself against. It's Midoriya's story. If you took Midoriya out and you focused on Togata, then that misses the point of the story. Togata is well trained and he is capable and he is gifted and he was pretty clearly a shoe-in for All Might's successor.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes him the stark contrast for Midoriya to weigh himself against, because Midoriya was none of that. And Togata is everything that he is trying to build towards. Togata exists as the mile marker for Midoriya's character. If you were to drop that, then you've lost the plot of the story, or at least the central plot line. So no, absolutely not. I mean, that's not saying that Togata couldn't carry a narrative by himself. He absolutely could. And, seeing where he is after the events of Ares' big moment would be interesting. I also haven't read the manga, so I don't know where things are after a certain point in the anime. So those of you who are read the manga, you may be kind of going, oh, he doesn't know, which I don't, and you better not spoil me, because I kind of want to take it in small doses. But wind it back to the core of the question, side characters taking on the roles of the lead characters. It really depends on what kind of story you're telling. If you are telling a story of generational succession, then there needs to be that progression built into it. Like Gurren Lagann, I guess, is an example of that, because Simon isn't really, he is the lead character, but Kamina is kind of the star of the show up until a certain point. I say without spoiling as much as I can. And Simone is, looking up to him and he is inspired to go on to succeed him from there. That's built into the story. Although I guess you could argue that it is Simone's journey entirely, and Kamina is the side character, but that's a whole other discussion. But the idea of a very popular side character should have been the main character to begin with, I would caution the line of thinking, because you need to look at what that side character does in the narrative. What is their role? What is their function in relation to the protagonist? What role do they serve to the protagonist? If the protagonist is boring, if they're not going anywhere, if they're milquetoast and they really are less interesting, then yeah, maybe that side character should have been the focus to begin with, and you'd get a more dynamic protagonist. But if the protagonist is there structurally to be something for the protagonist to compare against, to strive for, to contrast or complement with, then it's not really that the side character should take over. It's that you're missing the forest for the trees and the function of these characters in the narrative itself.
Alrighty.
That concludes my lecture for today. Tests will be on the 24th.
Okie dokie. Sounds good. Yeah, we got 13 more super chat questions, so we really need to power through them, I think.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, yep. We're gonna be cutting them off. This is last call for super chats. We're gonna be cutting them off here. So if you guys got any burning questions you want to throw money at, feel free to do so. But we do need to eventually leave today, so we will get to as many questions as we can in future episodes this month. So look forward to that. And we have a question here from from Jams. Sorry, lost my place. Would you all be able to do a live stream of Sonic Frontiers when it comes out? Would love to see Ian react to his own story and Kyle's thoughts on the soundtrack.
if Kyle wants to do that BumbleKast Gaming, more power to you, buddy.
That's my plan. I'd like to.
I think it's better that I abstain, purely because if I have anything that could be considered a negative reaction at any point, that is going to be cropped, that's going to be proliferated, and it's going to be Ian Flynn tears down own creation, and it's going to be a PR freaking nightmare. So I'm going to enjoy it in the privacy of my own home, but because of my position within the fandom and the product itself, I think I need to keep it at arm's distance, because I've learned my lesson. I know what the internet will do with perceptions and perceived perceptions.
Yeah. I think it would be preferable that if you did have anything to say about it, you were able to actually, write it out and maybe have some time to think about it at first, rather than just being caught off on the spot and then having that clipped out and used out of context. And we get that enough as it is with the normal BumbleKast. Beyond, and that's not even considering the things that people just flat out make up with no with no citations. Just make up freaking entire transcriptions of what we said, quote unquote, that we never actually said on the show, and no one thinks to check and just assumes that it is that transcription is accurate. Yeah, no. Stop that, by the way, please. I know I'm trying to appeal to a brick wall who doesn't care, but maybe. All right, 120 Masked has a question. So I'm sure you're aware of the unused dialogue for colors saying Hyper Go-On energy is stronger than the Chaos Emeralds. Is that still the case or no?
I would say no. I'm going to prescribe to what is stated in the final published game as canon. I love to mine the minutia and the cut content, but in terms of what is, I gotta go by what's actually published and go from there.
Yep. All right, and we got a super chat here from Frost the White Lion. Hello, Ian and Kyle. Hope you're doing awesome. Yes, we are. Thank you. My question is, I can speak for myself. How are you doing, Ian?
I'm good. I'm having fun.
Okay, good. We are having
that
fun.
Impromptu lecture just got me jazzed.
We're having fun, dang it. We're going to have fun. My question is, how would Sonic and friends, including the IDW cast, react to Fleetway Sonic and their counterparts and their version of Mobius?
A degree of intrigue, excitement,
confusion.
I'm willing. It's different, but I don't think it's too wildly different. I mean, I imagine Tangle is giddy at the thought of just going to Blaze's dimension, never mind an entire other Sonic dimension. And I imagine they'd get along with Porker Lewis and the gang just fine.
Mm-hmm.
Fleetway Sonic might be a little abrasive to everybody else, but I seem to remember he mellowed a bit towards the end of the run, so maybe he would get along with them. It's hard to say. I'm not super up to date on Sonic the comic.
From my understanding, he's kind of... a lot of his jerkiness is kind of taken out of context, so with the full context, it ends up seeming less abrasive. So, and I get that. Here's a super chat from Damien B. Thank you. Hey, Ian, did you have an internal, it's X amount of time between games while scripting the Origins story mode?
No. I wish I could go into it more, but I was not the only one involved in that decision-making process, and there was a lot of discussion about how to portray the passage of time between events.
There was also I also saw a question about like where the Game Gear games fit in, or are they just not considered anymore or
My
anything like that?
grain of salt, but my understanding is Game Gear stuff happens after Origins.
Yeah. Okay. Well, weird, but
Do
okay.
not take that as the gospel truth right now because I don't know. But that's my present understanding.
That's strange, but all right.
Well, there was no continuity back then. It was just pump games out. So,
I mean, there's arguably there's questionable continuity as it is right now. So, I mean, how is it really any different? All right. We are closing super chats. No more questions for tonight, guys. Thank you very much for your beautiful, lovely questions and your very generous donations and all that good stuff. So we are going to blast through the last of these super chat questions we got here and then call it a night. Here we go with one from Hero of Light 13. In the same vein as trying to get Knuckles permanently off the island, how would you like to see Silver and Blaze be more regularly involved with the main cast setting as more regular faces?
Silver I would see as the easiest option. He just decides that since the past is always coming into peril, he's just going to stay there.
It's like, why bother?
Like, I keep having to come back and clean up your messes. Fine. I'm here. I'm just going to stay.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? You can't send me back. Blaze would be much more involved because she has an entire planet. She's got an empire. You can't just transplant her. With Knuckles, at least, it's just a rock. Well, two rocks. One that floats and one that makes it float.
Mm-hmm.
If anything were to happen to them, it would be heartbreaking, but it's a loss of terrain and a MacGuffin. Blaze has an empire of who knows how many people. So that's a lot more responsibility. I personally would love to see just one big, dramatic, bombastic event story where the planets merge. Everything just gets transplanted onto Earth, and we're done.
Yeah.
Blaze is around, everyone's safe, the MacGuffins don't have to travel between dimensions, nothing is lost, everything's gained.
She's off in her own kingdom, but she's still there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where is Blaze? Oh, she's busy doing Imperial Princess things. Oh, Blaze is here now? Well, she's got some time off, or here's the adventure that includes her. She's not here again? Well, guess what? She's back doing her job. It's perfectly simple.
Yes.
Why haven't we seen the Soul Empire lately? Because we've been over here. It still exists. Maybe we'll go back there one day. Oh, God, I want that so bad.
I would love that. Excel Hedge has a question. If Sega brought back Boom, how would you introduce the rest of the game cast as Boom characters? Oh boy, okay, that's a lot.
I don't think they all need to be brought over. Honestly, it would be either more interesting to expand the Boom cast or to cherry pick some of like the higher priority characters. For like, if there's a really good idea, then I'd say you give them a Boom counterpart. If there isn't something, don't do it just for the sake of bringing them over. Like Vector was a great example because he's the detective in the modern version, and then he's a TV detective in Boom.
Right.
Same core idea, but very different applications. And as much as it would be great to see the Chaotix involved in Boom, the episodes show they aren't really needed for Boom Vector's character. So could Espio and Charmy stand on their own in Boom incarnations? Maybe. Would they be needed? Debatable. So I don't know. It'd be maybe kind of fun if the crew leaves Hedgehog Island and goes to the Soul Islands and meet Boom Blaze as a dignitary and teach her how to have fun. That might be a story arc. That might be something fun to see. But like, I don't necessarily think we need the Deadly Six Boom versions. You know, do we really?
Probably not.
Really?
Probably not. About Big the Cat Boom version of Big the Cat would just be exactly the same. No change.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the joke.
Just bring him over. Yep, exactly. He's just
The
identical.
Babylon Rogues might work pretty well as Boom incarnations.
Oh, I
You know,
could
just kinda
see
like
that.
a rival team.
Yeah, I could see that. And they would be like dialed up to 11 because, yeah, that's what Boom is all about.
I mean, there's a whole slapstick scene between Knuckles and Storm where they're about to get in each other's faces and they accidentally beat an egg pawn to death. And they're like, oops, sorry, my bad. Oh, wait, no, let me put that back on. And that's almost a Boom scene in and of itself.
Mhm.
So they could probably make the transition.
Yeah.
And the Rogues need a little more love anyway.
Boom Rouge could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Should get like just completely oblivious Knuckles, and she's just she's dialed up way, way, way up. So she's like flirty with him, but he is just completely like he's just does not notice at all. That could be very funny.
Knuckles, you're robbing the jewelry store. No. She explained everything. She just happened to drop all these incredibly expensive jewels perfectly into all these display cases. I'm just getting them back for her.
Uh-huh. He's so nice. He's a nice guy like that, you know? Yeah, that's exactly how it would go.
She's like, Knuckles, don't trip the lasers. And he's looking at it and goes, I don't think they can. They're wall mounted.
Yeah, she'd probably get tired of him pretty quick.
Oh, yeah.
But at the
guys,
same
you
time,
don't understand. I'm pivotal to her plan. It's called Operation Meat Shield.
But at the same time, he's also useful to her plans.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, she's willing to put up with it, but all right. Well, we still have a lot more to go, so let's keep on rolling. Sonic Mania 2099 is back with a super chat question. Going back to last month on Big, he was Amy's powerhouse. He was the muscle for the Freedom Fighters. And didn't you write him fighting Zombots? I guess. I don't know exactly what this is referring to, but you did all these.
In the special. In the script, he was just running away. John Gray gave him a little more action, had him tie them to a tree, I think is how it went.
Oh.
With his fishing line, to specify, obviously.
It's not the tree that fell on John's car, is it? All right. And here's a question from Windy Pants. That's my pants on a regular day. We know you want to bring back the Freedom Fighters, but I can't imagine them being the exact same characters as they were in Archie. So if you could, how would you introduce them into IDW?
Oh, that will be entirely up to SEGA. Like, more than, I mean, they may not even be modern characters. They probably would be classic, since that is their only game incarnations. I imagine we would take some cues from Sat AM, but any Archie elements would most likely be purged. So I would have to have the parameters from them set up before I could really spin off of it. It would definitely be a collaborative effort.
Yeah, it's up in the air at this point. Maybe they'll come back. Here's hoping. And we got another one here from Sonic Mania 2099. All right. Just curious, do you think SEGA can give us a Frontiers and Prime trailer that doesn't last 30 seconds?
That is up to SEGA's marketing team and whoever's telling them how to do stuff. That is beyond me.
Alrighty. And here's one from Omega Watt. Can other Mobians absorb the Wisp Hyper Go-On power like Sonic can, or can only Sonic do this?
I don't know. Like, I'm inclined to say anybody can, because they turn into energy and they infuse into the biomass. That should be universal. But Sonic does seem to be exceptionally adaptive. Like, not everyone can do chaos control. Not everyone can boost. Not everyone can homing attack or spin jump or whatnot. So it might just be something Sonic's special at.
Yeah. All right, here's one from JJ Slider. Where do all Sonic characters keep excess rings?
In their back pockets.
They're stored in their cankles. Yeah, something like that.
I mean, if you want to get... See, I can't just leave it a joke answer. I have to get into the nitty gritty.
I mean, there was that one time they were drawn with rings going up and down their arms, but that was one time in like 90s Archie. So,
I mean, in the games, they kind of disappear with a sparkle effect, so one can assume that they dematerialize into an energy state and, like the wisps, infuse into the biomass. But don't take that as the canon answer.
Same place Amy stores her hammer. There we go. That's one from the chat. Thank you, chat. They eat them. Yes, that's what's happening. Makes as much sense as anything else. Meta Mode has a question. Ian Sama, please read Black Clover. I implore you to do so. Not watch, read, unless you really want to watch it.
I will add it to the list of things to do. I don't know what it is, but, add it to the list.
All right, and here's one from Newt the Gamer. Hey guys, do you think Eggman ever met Gerald when he was younger? I'd imagine the events of SA2 altering his opinion of his grandfather.
I don't know, because he says that he always looked up to his grandfather, but we don't know how old Eggman is. The colony disaster was 50 years ago. So if Eggman had any... Wow, I said that funny. If Eggman had any personal interactions with Gerald, that would mean that he's over 50 years old. And I don't think he is.
I don't think so. Maybe he is. I don't know. He seems old.
I mean, Gerald's legacy in terms of public opinion, I'm assuming, is that he was a mad scientist that Gunn had to put down. I can't imagine Gunn would let a positive story circulate about the Ark incident. And Eggman is a messed up individual, so I just imagine he grew up to stories of his grandfather being a mad scientist on a rogue space station. Goes, yeah, I want to be like Granddad.
That would be interesting. Maybe the movie will explore some of that, since it seems to be going in a slightly different direction, but similar.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, here's one from Testing. Are cut zones allowed? Wood Zone made it into Reboot, so could it make it into IDW? Would it still be part of West Side Island, if so?
Maybe. I mean, if we were going to bring back Wood Zone, it ought to be on West Side Island. But I don't know if we can use cut content like that.
Well, that would be interesting. Don't bring back Genocide City, though. That would be awkward.
Yeah, nah.
Nah, we'll leave that one on the cutting room floor. Yeah. Here's one from Nekuzita. In the old Archie 25 years later, how the heck did Tails and Mina end up together? That always felt so random.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there was...
I mean, you wrote it.
I can't remember now. I can't remember if this was a joke or
Wait,
a bit of...
Okay, you didn't write this one, right? At 25 years later.
No.
Okay, but...
Yeah, that was a plot point I inherited.
Right, okay.
And I can't remember if this was a joke or where this came from, but I remember some bit of rationale going around that they both idolized Sonic, and that gave them common ground, and things spun out from there. Which is like, I don't know about that. Of course, my understanding too is that that wasn't in the original script. That was just kind of added after the fact. So I don't know. It was weird. It's not what I would have gone with, but I wasn't about to just drop it just because I didn't like it. So we ran with it.
I believe this trope is called Pair the Spares. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Oh well. I'm seeing here Jennifer in the chat has something to say. She says fell in love because they both idolized Sonic. That sounds healthy. Yes. Yes, it's not. There's no healthy relationships in old Archie Sonic. There's no healthy relationships in there. That's part of what the whole book was powered on, was unhealthy relationships for decades. Yeah. It's bad. It's bad. And we have two more super chats, both of them from Sonic Mania 2099. If you guys wanted to, how would you handle YouTuber guests like Mega Beatman or Some Call Me Johnny?
I imagine it'd be the same as any other. It'd be the same as any of our other guest episodes.
Sure.
They'd come on the show. We'd talk for about an hour and publish it.
Cool.
They're more video oriented, so it would obviously be different since we're audio only. But they can talk.
I don't know. Can they? Maybe we should go ask Gaming Apologist if he can talk. Can you talk? I've watched some of his videos and he talks quite a bit, so yes. Sure, why not? I don't know. And we got our last one here from Sonic Mania 2099. That's a long way into the future, by the way. Do you guys think the Archie characters will return? Kind of pity Rush Comics when they wasted $10,000 trying to revive Scourge. Oh, that thing. I don't think it was $10,000 from what I understand. Also, that was
I don't think so.
That was supposed to be for the whole kit and caboodle, not just one character. So, anyway.
I don't foresee them coming back. No. Part of me holds out hope that maybe post reboot, since they are less complicated, but I'm pretty sure they're done. Like, Freedom Fighters are a special case because they were created for a Sega product, and the ownership, as far as I am aware, is much more clean cut, and they do have some game representation. But anything that was created by freelancers probably isn't ever going to see the light of day again, at least not in modern continuity.
Mm-hmm. All right. I'm being told we may have missed one for a super chat. Oh, we did.
I'm getting it right now.
Oh, Jennifer's getting it. Okay.
It was for Nekuzita.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess we did miss one of those.
Got it.
Okay. Sorry about that. Thank you for catching us on that one. All right, so we got one more super chat. This one is from Moto HDDK. Is it possible for a Belle redemption arc? She's been taking big fat L's for a while now. She has a lot of potential to be super awesome.
I don't know if it'd be a redemption arc. Redemption arc is more like for a villain to go good.
Yeah.
But Belle does need a solid W. She's been through the ringer a bit.
I mean,
So-
this is this is just what you do to the whole cast, man. Well, you and Evan both are like putting everybody through the ringer. I feel bad for like Whisper. I feel terrible for her. She's been through so much.
Bill's got no strings to hold her down. It's just the rest of her life doing it.
Yeah. She's not.
I want to tease.
She's
but
not bouncy. She's made of wood. Anyway, go ahead.
Without spoiling too much, look forward to Sonic number 50, I think.
Alrighty. I mean, I even feel kind of bad for Surge and Kid. I mean, they didn't ask for this. I do not feel bad for Starline.
No, absolutely not.
No.
But I want to say stuff on Surge and Kit, but it kind of ties
No,
very
no.
directly to 50 and beyond.
Yeah,
so.
no. Don't mention anything yet. But I
I keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. Keep that to yourself for now. Anyway, we are at the end. This is it. We're done. So, thank you everybody so much for your questions, for your support. For those of you who asked questions, we didn't get to them today. We will be hopefully getting to as many of them as we can throughout the rest of the month, and then we'll go from there. So, I know you guys have a lot of questions. Like, we have 104 total in just the standard queue, and we just went through like 50 super chats. So, yeah.
Good.
One super chat.
This is we have done like 80 questions today, I think, total. So, yes.
Well, again, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your questions. If you're listening to this on the Monday rebroadcast, we will see you Wednesday for a special edition of the BumbleKast. And then we'll resume our regularly scheduled grind through the questions the week after that. Kyle, you got anything to add here at the end?
Not really. I guess if you guys want to go check out my other show, Nitro Game Injection, that's a show I do every Friday. I stream it live on both YouTube and the live audio stream that's always going over at kngi.org. That's kngi.org. And it show's all about video game music, remixes, arrangements, covers, sometimes some original soundtrack stuff. Basically just celebrating the community of video game remix musicians. All the lovely folks around the internet on like Overclocked Remix, YouTube, Dwelling of Duels, and stuff like that. So if you want to go check that out, head on over there.
And if you like what I do, and if you're here, I'm kind of hoping you do.
I don't know about that.
Well, you never know. You never know. You can check out my personal Patreon over at patreon.com/Ian Flynn Writing. That's where I upload as regularly as possible various other writing things, not Sonic things, but other types of writing stuff. And any denomination gets you access to everything for as long as you're there. So it's mostly an exercise for me to stop crafting and overthinking things and just putting something on a page and putting it out there.
Yep.
And it's a difficult process. Oh, it hurts. It's not finished yet. Put it out there. So check that out if you're so inclined. Big thank you to Jennifer R. and Professor Rye again for helping us manage all this, because we couldn't do it without you. We could, but it would not be nearly as smooth. It would not be nearly as fun.
Yes.
So huge thank you to the both of you.
Very much, yes.
I think I saw Universe in the chat saying that he's going to start tackling the timestamps. You absolutely legend. Thank you so much. And, I guess that's it.
Pre-show, JR Unbound was also in here, so they're doing the old episode timestamp. So, yeah, big thank you to all these amazing folks who are volunteering their time and helping us out and just letting us put on a great show for you. So, thank you.
Greatly appreciated.
Yes.
So that's going to wrap us up for this edition of the BumbleKast. Thank you so much for joining us. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on another BumbleKast.
See you then. Bye.